Hi everyone, this is Todd from One Shot API. We have a new DeFi workflow tutorial for you today in n8n. This one is going to be using Aave and MetaMask smart accounts. And what it's going to do is periodically run on a schedule that you configure, and you're going to link a MetaMask smart account with a delegation given to One Shot API. And when the workflow detects that that smart account is above some upper threshold of USDC on Base, it is going to move the excess funds into Aave for you automatically to earn yield. And when it detects that that smart account drops below some lower threshold, it will move an amount of your savings out of Aave back into your smart account to put you between that lower and upper threshold so that you can spend it. So before we set this up, we're going to do that in the second half of the video. Let's actually see it run. The only thing that you'll have to really mess with in this workflow is going to be in the savings configs box. So there's an upper threshold, which we call move to savings threshold. Any balance above that US dollar amount will get put into Aave. Then there is a top off balance, that's your lower threshold. Once you drop below this, the workflow will calculate how much to withdraw from Aave to put you between this upper and lower threshold. And then here, this is your account with a delegation given to One Shot API. And this Telegram chat ID, we're going to get that in the setup section, but this allows you to get messages when the workflow runs so you can see what your balance and savings are without having to go look it up on a block scanner. So right now, my USDC balance is $8.80, which puts me between the lower and upper threshold that I have set. So if I execute this, I'm going to get a message in Telegram that my current balance is $8.80, and this is how much I have saved in Aave. So it didn't actually make any transactions for me, it just let me know what the state of my account is. If I change that threshold to trigger a push to savings, let's maybe drop this down to, let's say, $8.40, and then let's change our lower threshold to be something below that, let's say $8.25. Let's hit save. Now, when I run this, it'll detect that I have surplus funds in my wallet and then put those surplus funds into Aave. So let's run this. And it's first running an approved transaction for the amount to move to savings, and then it's going to call supply on the Aave pool contract. If you happen to get an error when you are setting this up, like I did just now, where we get an out of gas error, this is actually good to show you how to fix in One Shot API if you're building your own custom workflows. Come here into your node and hit add field, and we can set a custom gas limit. Let's set this one to 300,000 and hit save. And if we rerun this with the manual gas limit setting, you can see there it completed. If we check our Telegram message, excess funds in your wallet have been moved to Aave. There's the transaction hash. My balance is now $8.40, and I have this much now saved in Aave. If we open our wallet, you can see our USDC balance has moved down to $8.40, which is great. Now, running it again, no change. Lastly, let's trigger the withdraw. So since we have $8.40 in our wallet, we need to change these two to trigger a withdrawal. So let's put this to $8.50 for the lower bound, and for the upper bound, we'll put this to, something larger. Hit save, and we'll run again. And you can see now it is calculating how much to withdraw from our Aave balance to move back into our smart account. And again, we got a Telegram message. Our balance is now $8.60. which is great. That's halfway between the lower and upper threshold. And that is the thing in action. So at this point, set your schedule trigger to however often you think it makes sense to run. Probably once a day, or at most maybe twice a day. You don't want this running super often. But once you've got it dialed in, toggle it from inactive to active. And then it'll run for you n8n fully automatically. So now that we've seen it running, let's actually spend the second half of the video setting this up from scratch. So come to the verified workflow link in the YouTube tutorial. You'll see this page. Hit use for free and copy that to your clipboard. And then in your n8n account, create a new workflow and paste into your new workflow. You'll see this. The first thing you have to do before you can do anything is we have to create a credential so that our one-shot API nodes can communicate with our one-shot API account. So log into the one-shot API portal or create a free account if you don't have one already. Click on the API keys tab, hit create a new key, give it a name, generate it, and it's going to give you a key and a secret. So click on one of the one-shot nodes. Under credential, hit create a new credential, put the key and the secret here, and then your business ID is in the top right hand corner of your portal. Copy that, paste it in the business ID field, and hit save. Now all your nodes will be authenticated against your account. The next thing is to run this. We're going to take a horizontal step for a second. We're using Telegram to give us notifications, so we have to get a Telegram API key, and we have to get our Telegram chat ID. So to do that, open Telegram, go to the bot father, bot, type in new bot, and follow those instructions. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube for creating a bot if this doesn't make sense, but create a new bot. Once you've created that bot, get the API key token. So you're going to copy that token and click on one of the Telegram nodes. And just like we did with One-Shot API, create a new credential, put that access token there from the bot father, and hit save. And now your nodes will be able to communicate with your new bot in Telegram. But to be able to get messages, we need the chat ID, which is kind of tricky because the Telegram app doesn't surface chat IDs directly in the app. So the best way to do it, I've found, is to add a new node from Telegram, specifically a trigger. So let's do an on message trigger. And you can see here it's connected to our demo bot that we just got the API key for. So let's execute this. Now it's listening, and let's send our bot a message. So I'll just say hello. Then in our trigger from Telegram, you can see this chat ID. If I copy that and then delete that trigger node because we don't need it anymore, come back to your savings configs, and then Telegram chat ID, paste that there and hit save, and you won't have to touch that configuration ever again. So now we've got Telegram, we've got authentication with our one-shot account. Let's now execute this sub workflow. This is going to set up a base wallet if we don't have one already. It's going to import the smart contract methods that we need to reference in our workflow. It's going to print the contract method IDs that we need in our config to the console. So let's just run this. We only have to run it once, but it doesn't hurt to run it more than once. And if we open the browser console, you see here contract method IDs. That's printed for you from that sub workflow. Just copy that whole thing. Copy it. Close the console. Come back to savings configs. And then this block right here, contract method IDs, you can replace that whole thing with what was in the console. If you don't want to copy from the console, you can also just come to My Smart Contracts. These are the 3 contracts that subflow imported. You can click on the details and then, for instance, get approved, go to details, and then copy the contract method IDs individually, if that makes more sense to you. Now I have my Telegram chat ID, I have my contract method IDs, the delegator here that we discussed before, be sure that is pointing at your wallet that you want to automate savings for. And our last step in the configuration is we have to give a delegation to One-Shot API. So before we do that, be sure that your MetaMask account has been upgraded to a smart wallet. So you can see here, this is the wallet that I'm using in that workflow, and I have Base mainnet toggled on in the account details enable smart contract account. Be sure that's toggled on, otherwise you won't be able to create delegations. So with that, back in One-Shot API, on our wallets tab, click on your Base Relayer wallet, connect the wallet to the page, and then hit add delegation. If you want this to run for a while, you'll need to set a start and an end date. So maybe I'll set it to start for today and then last a month. And then these three contract addresses, the A Base USDC address, USDC itself, and then the Aave pool contract, we want to give permission to relay transactions for all three of those contracts. So hit create delegation. This will pop up a signature in your wallet, and I'm using the same wallet that I put into the workflow. Hit confirm, and then you can see One-Shot API stores the delegation for me. Now, if I run this workflow, it will do what we just saw in the first half of the video. So that concludes this DeFi tutorial for today. If you have any questions, talk to the team in Telegram, and check out our YouTube channel for other tutorials on automating DeFi workflows coming soon.